let us open the Gmail page, login page, and here we have a create an account option. So here let us try to write the script by adding objects to the repository manually. Till now we have learned how to record the script. So let us now, without recording, how to write the script. One method is by adding objects to the repository. Why to add the objects to the repository? Because for QTP to recognize the objects should be present in the repository. Then only during runtime, it will compare the object properties and will identify the object. So one method in which you can generate script is by record mode. And the other one is by adding objects to the repository. Going for recording mode is not used in the real-time environments. Just for learning purpose we can use, or some scenarios will be using recording. Generating script by recording will be done in a very rare cases and the less cases. But here let us see how to generate the script by adding objects to the repository. This is the mostly one which we will be using. Let us see. First, add the objects on which you want to perform the operation. Right now, I want to create a Google account or else a Gmail account. So I need to enter the first name, enter the last name, then choose the Gmail username. Then I need to create a password and I need to confirm the password, means re-enter the same password, and then birthday, then day of the birthday, and then year, month, day and year. Then comes the gender, mobile phone, email address and so on. Let us first generate the code to do operations on these four fields: name, username, create a password and confirm the password, and then move on with the other fields. So add the objects to the repository. In the last class we have seen how to add the objects to the repository. How to add the objects? Now let us do the example on adding the objects. Go to resources menu, object repository. Here you have or add objects to local. Select it and your mouse turns to hand pointer. Select the object. It's a web edit first name and it shows the complete hierarchy. We want hierarchy to write the script, means to reach the object we want the hierarchy. So once you reach the object, you use the method applicable to that object. So this is how you know the hierarchy. When you select a particular object, you can see the hierarchy like this: browser, first parent is browser, next one is page, and then edit. Browser means it comes with the whole window. Page means this part where you are seeing the text and all, and then the other one is web edit first name. So say OK. The complete hierarchy was added to the repository. Now you also need to add the other one, which is a last name. Again, add the object, select the add objects to local. Again, add the last name, web edit last name. Similarly, add the remaining objects also. Choose your name, select it, web edit Gmail address, say OK. Create a password. Similarly, add all the objects. Now confirm your password. Web edit password again. Now you have added all the objects. So now close the repository, save the test. Now how to write the script. You have already seen the hierarchy, right? Suppose if you want to see the hierarchy again, you don't know what is the class of this object, what is the hierarchy, right? You don't know what is a browser and all. So you have another feature in QTP which will be used to learn the object hierarchy and properties of the particular object. So what you will do to see the hierarchy, here you have a object spy. Select it. You see a window like this, object spy, and it shows a hand pointer. Click on the hand pointer. Here application is not there. Once close this. keep the application open, open the object spy, click on the hand pointer and select the object for which you want to see the hierarchy. Select it. See here, it shows a complete hierarchy. And also after knowing the hierarchy, the syntax is, if you remember the syntax, it's nothing but object class, then logical name of that particular object, then brackets close, dot, then child objects class, and then the child object name and so on. So if you select the parent object, first see the class name, browser, means object class is browser. Browser, brackets open, quotations, and then name of the object. Name is nothing but logical name. Then second one is page, which belongs to which belongs to the class page. Next one, which belongs to the class webedit. Let us try writing it. Syntax is, I'm also writing the syntax here. Object, firstly, parent objects class, parenthesis, quotations, name of that object. Then again parenthesis, before that quotations, parenthesis, dot, again child1 object class, then again child1 name, dot, if there is another child2 and so on, then dot, the method applicable. If it is a edit box, it's a set method. If it is a button, it's a click. If it is a web list, again it's a select method and so on. It varies. The method depends on the class of the object on which you are going to perform the operation. And then value. So this is the syntax. This is the format you need to write. So let us write the now. What is the parent object? It belongs to class of the parent object first of all. It's nothing but browser. Browser is the class of the parent object. Then open the parenthesis. See, automatically Google accounts name populates. Means if you write the class of the object and open the parenthesis, whatever objects belongs to that class that are present in the repository will be populated in the script. See here you wrote a browser and there is only one object which belongs to the class browser in the repository. No other object belongs to the class browser. See here, this is a web edit, this is a web edit, web edit, web edit. This one is also web edit. This one is a page and this one is browser. So if you write the class of the object and open the brackets, then automatically the name of the objects whichever belongs to the class will be shown here in the script. Automatically it populates. So close that, dot, dot, then child object. To see the child object, if you don't know what is the child object, you can use the object spy again. Otherwise, you can just go through this and you see the child objects in the blue colored one. See, these are the child objects. Child objects are shown with this icon, some light blue color. Select it. So page. Again open the bracket. So whatever objects belonging to that class page comes up here, populates. Then dot. Again if you don't know the child object, again you can go through this list. When you keep dot, automatically the list populates. Again web edit. Otherwise, if you don't want to go for the child object and you want to do some operation on the page, you can select the applicable methods. But here I want to do operation on web edit. So select it. Then again open. See now, see here, it's not a single object. There are 5 objects which are belonging to the class webedit. In our repository, we are having 5 objects belonging to the class webedit. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all those will be populated here. Whatever you want, you can select it. For the first time, I want to do operation on first name. Select it. Parenthesis close, dot, set method. and then the value you need to enter. I want to enter some name as testing 2012, and then next line. Next line of code, you want to do operation on this last name. Again, you need to know the hierarchy. If you want to know the hierarchy, let us use the object spy again. Hand pointer. Again, you see the selected, you see the object hierarchy and also class of that object and remaining all properties. For the page, again same thing. Or else you can do one more thing. Go to resources, repository. Here also you can see the hierarchy. Suppose you want to write for last name. See, this itself shows the hierarchy. This is the parent object, next child object, and next remaining all are the child objects of the same level. Okay, these are the third childs. This is the third child of a browser and second child of a page object. All are of the same level. So now write the script for the second one. Of course, it's the same hierarchy. All the objects are in the same hierarchy here. So dot page dot, again it belongs to the class it shows here. Then last name dot set. Let's give some name for last name. Let us say QTP 2012. Done. What is the next one? It's nothing but choose your username. Because all these are of the same hierarchy, I am writing directly. Username, let it be some name. Then even Gmail address was also set, right? Then password. Again, same hierarchy. So just write the class name. The name automatically populates. Then dot page object. Then the name of the page object. Then web edit. And then the password. Dot set. Give some password here. Let us give the password as testing 2012@456. Okay, 435. Next one. Repeat the same password 2012@435. Done. So now entering the values into these four edit boxes was done. Let us try to execute the script now. Save the test. Let us run the script. Right? Execution was done. See here, all the values which we have given there has been entered here. Testing 2012, QTP 2012, username is testing QTP 2012, and so on. Likewise, password strength is too low. It's okay. Likewise, you can do operation on the remaining things also. Let us do that. Even add remaining objects also to the repository. Open the resources, object repository. Again, add the remaining objects. It's a birth rate, is a web list. It's a list box. Next, date, birthday, and the other one is year. Next one is gender. It's again a web list. Mobile phone. And then current email address. Next, even you can add this checkbox and this one. And then of course this cannot be done correctly by using automation tool. Here we cannot do this because here a machine cannot do things. This was used just to identify whether it is a man or a machine. So we cannot do this. And then again location. Let us write till the gender. Objects, first add the objects and then dot page dot web edit. It's a web list. Birthday is a web list. Birthday month part is a web list. Okay. It shows the month part, birth month. Dot set. Sorry, here it's a web list and the method applicable is select method. And then see how the values were given here. Complete name of the month. So let us choose June. Again for entering the day. Birthday. Again it's an edit box. Set method. It's a day and then year. Enter some value of the day as 3. Then browser dot page add the year part also. Okay, it's a web element. Let us see the child objects here. It's a web element. So web element year dot we don't have a set method here. See, whatever you click, what the method does will be shown beside it. Set UO property sets the value. Right clicks, refreshes, instructs QTP to re-identify the object. So let us choose the applicable method. Click, drag, drop, exist. Okay, we'll see this one at the end. Let us comment this. Next, write a line of code regarding the next object. Browser page and then Google accounts dot, the next object is gender web list dot select female. Now if you execute it, the next fields will also be entered as per the value set in the script. Before that, just refresh the page. Okay, so that is one way where you write your script by adding objects to the repository. So this is done. Now your script executes. Suppose there is some way, here we are using a name of the object, which is a logical name, right? Suppose there are some objects whose name changes regularly. Suppose say here we are having a browser with a title which is having some date part. And today if you open the browser, if you open that particular application, it will be noted with the today's date. And if you open tomorrow, again the date changes. So the particular property where it is a title or a text property keep on changing. Excuse me. So if it happens and if you are using the script like this, obviously the script will not work fine tomorrow. So what we'll do is we'll use some important properties in our script so that it will execute even though the property changes dynamically. So that is where it comes the usage of descriptive programming, which is called TP. And also here we are using object repository. Suppose any objects are missing from the repository, or else you want to make some modifications. Let us say this is the script for creating a Gmail account. And tomorrow there were some more fields added for testing. A test scenario is creating an account. Suppose tomorrow in the application there were some more inputs added. Then if you want to use the same script, you have to add the objects to the repository again. And suppose by mistakes or by chance any objects were missing in the repository, again the test script fails. So there's one more way where you have an option to write the script without using repositories. The advantage for this is, so these are the scenarios where you need to write descriptive programming, where one is regarding the dynamic objects. Whenever there are dynamic objects which keep on changing and you cannot use the same title, you need to use the properties which are very important for the object other than name and so on. And also without use of object repository. So in such cases you can go for descriptive programming where you will not use object repository. Without object repository you will be generating the script. The advantage of this is, main advantage is, script execution time decreases. Execution time decreases means, why execution time decreases? Because during runtime, during execution, each time it goes to the repository, fetches the information from the repository for each object, and it will compare. So if there is no repository, there is no need to go to the repository again. Just everything will be given in the script itself. So execution time decreases means testing process increases. That is one more advantage of descriptive programming. Likewise, there are many more which we'll be seeing in the next sessions. Let us first of all see how to write a descriptive programming for this part. Here in the repository we are having, for the browser object, this is the browser, we have a name, logical name, and there are no descriptive properties. For a browser, there will be no descriptive properties. Let us take a web edit. And here you see type equal to text, name equal to birthday, and input HTML tag equal to input. So what you will do during execution time, it goes here, it fetches this object information and it will compare. So here, instead of the name for a birthday or a web edit, take any first name. Let us take the first name, which is a web edit. Here there are three properties again, and the logical name was written here. We'll just replace the logical name with this properties and values. The syntax here is DP syntax. Property name 1 colon equal to, and then property value 1 separated by comma. If you want to add two properties for an object, again second property name colon equal to second property value. Next one, for the third one, property name 3 colon equal to property value 3, and so on. Likewise, you can write any number of list of properties in any list. Till n number you can add the properties. Property value list. These are called property value pairs. You replace the name of the object with this property value pairs, so that whatever information present in the repository, we are writing that in the script itself, so that there is no use of the repository. Suppose if you delete any objects in the repository, even then the script will not fail. Let us see writing the description properties for each object. Next, coming to this birthday, we have a text property. So just remove this, put the property name colon equal to, and the property value. Just go to the repository. Here you have a first one, type equal to text. Okay, property comma next property. What is the next property? Name colon equal to first name, and then the third property is HTML tag, and then the value, which is input. So likewise, you'll replace the value, you'll replace the name of the object with this property value pairs. Likewise, you can add any number of properties. Here in the descriptive programming, we'll be using the feature of object spy, because there will not be any repository. Let us open the new test. Instead of checking the property values from the repository, let us use the object spy. Open the new test. Now this is the page you want to write. So here we are not adding objects to the repository. We don't have any objects in the repository. Now let us open the object spy. Here spying the object is very important. You should know which properties can make a unique identification for object, which object, which properties cannot. That you acquire on practice. Practice adding objects, practice adding properties to the list, and try checking which are the most important ones. Now let us select the hand pointer, select the first object. You see the complete hierarchy here. And also you go here and see the complete list of properties. So out of this complete list, you need to choose what are the most important properties and what are the least. By identifying the most important properties, you have to choose those properties and write it in your script. Again, go for the hierarchy. First one is browser. And what is the property you want to use for a browser? It's the title, Google accounts. You can use the title property, which makes unique identification. Next, coming to the page. For a page object also, you can go for a title, Google accounts. Next comes a web edit, first name. Choose the most important properties from the list, which make a unique identification. Suppose see, our class name is also a property. If you choose class name, there are so many objects belonging to the same class, so it cannot make unique identification for the object with the class name. If suppose that is the only object existing in the application within that class, then fine, you can go with the class name. So now let us choose some properties for this. HTML tag is one important property which is equal to input, and name property, which is the first name, which is unique for this object. So you can go with those two properties. Let us write now browser. This time the name of the object will not be populated because there are no objects stored in the repository. Now you need to write manually. Browser, I have chosen the title property. Syntax is colon equal to name of the title. Name of the title is Google accounts. Dot next page object, and then the title. Here also we are using title property. Then dot web edit, and the first property is HTML tag colon equal to the property value is input colon comma. If there are two properties or more than two properties you need to add, you need to separate them by a comma. Property 1 and property 1 value. Next, property name 2 or a property 2 and value 2. So the second property is name colon equal to, and the name is first name. If you want to see again, just go for the spy. Here practice much on spying the object. This is very important. Spy the object. So here is the name, first name. So write the same thing here. First name. Done. Reach the object through hierarchy. Now set method. And then value. Some value. Right? Likewise, the second line of code. Again, it follows the same hierarchy. So again, it is a title colon equal to Google accounts. Here you need to type everything manually. It will not be populated because objects are not there in the repository. Title colon again the same name. If you have any doubt or if you are not sure of any object class or a property name and property value, you can go back and use the object spy. Now for the second name, what are the properties of the web edit you need to choose? Again, use the spy. Spy the object. Click on the hand pointer. This is the object. Select it correctly. So this is a web edit. Let us see again for the properties. Again, we can use the HTML tag, which is input. HTML tag property is equal to input and name property is equal to last name. I'm going to use the same properties here also. HTML tag colon equal to input. You can use as many number of properties as you want. If you feel that QTP cannot identify with these properties uniquely, you can choose some more properties like window ID or else HTML ID, which make a unique identification for the particular object. Again, name property, which is a last name. If you write any spelling mistakes or incorrect values here, the script will fail. So we should be careful while writing this. Last name is give something like again, because it's the same hierarchy, you can write the same thing. What is the other one? Choose your username. Again, spy the particular object, select it, web edit, Gmail address, HTML tag, and I want to use the same name property, or else you can add some more property like which give unique identification. This rows are visible, this will not make a unique identification. So choose some more important properties. These are the best ones we have from the list: HTML tag and name. So let us go with the same. If any spelling mistakes are there, again your script will fail. The next one is password. Spy the object. Again, I'm going to use the same properties, which are HTML tag and name password. PASSWD. Again, I'm just taking this. Now change the value for the confirm field. Spy the object. So HTML tag is input and this is PASSWD again. again the set method and then QTP. So this is the script for entering the username and entering the password, and here we are not having any objects in the repository. So check for the syntax errors. How do you check for syntax errors? Control F7, you get the information pane which shows if there are any syntax errors. The syntax is valid. Otherwise, just go to tools. Here again you have a check syntax. Either way you can use. Now let us execute the script. Let us see if there are any runtime errors. It got stuck up at a Gmail address. Is the property value spelled correctly? Let us see. Cannot find the webedit object's parent browser of class browser. Verify the parent properties match an object currently. Browser title of Google account. Here the title value was given incorrectly. Google account. Spelling mistake. It was misspelled. Accounts. Name was accounts and not account. So you should be very careful writing the property values which are lengthy like this. Now rerun the script. So done. And you have a result summary document. Test was done. Whatever values we have given there, it will be shown for in the details of each step. This is the QTP online testing. Again password. Again password. Again confirming the password. So this is how you use a descriptive programming, and it will be executed at a faster rate when compared to scripts which uses object repository. You'll find the difference mostly when you use repositories which are very big. If suppose your application is having some 20 objects, and if you try to use repository, then their execution time will be very high. And if you use this method there, you will understand the difference. So this is where you use descriptive programming. The advantage is this: script execution time decreases, and also if there are any objects which are changing dynamically, you cannot use their name property or something like that, or else whichever is changing very frequently. So here, if suppose any object or a title changes, making a change here will do. But if you are using the objects from the repository, all the tests, whichever using that repository will affect. But here only this script will affect, and if you make any change to that particular value, again the script will go fine. But if you use repository, and whatever scripts are using that particular repository, like shared repository, all the scripts will fail. So that is the differences between the method by where you generate script using repository and where you write descriptive programming. Here only this script will fail if any property value changes. So if you make a changes here in the script, that will go fine. Whereas in the case where you use repositories, all the tests whichever are using that particular repository will fail. You need to make changes in the repository. So this is one thing. And see here, if you have observed, it's the same object, browser object, but we are writing so many times, and also that length of the property is very long. And also you have seen, we have already done the spelling mistake is there. Suppose like that, if any spelling mistakes are there because the values are very lengthy or so many property values are there, again the script fails. And also suppose this browser object is used here and it is used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the script. The same object was used so many times, and in the later at some other point it might be used again. So whenever you want to use the object, you have to write the properties and values like this. Of course, we have written only one single property value. Suppose if I add some more property values here, say 4 properties, if I add a list of 4 properties, like here we added 2 properties. So adding a 4 properties like that every time where the object is used so many times in the script, this writing this type of descriptive programming becomes tiresome. So what we can do, we can use another method of descriptive programming which is called dynamic descriptive programming. And in this dynamic descriptive programming, we'll create a description object. And instead of writing the same object property value so many times, we'll create one object and we'll associate those properties to that object. We'll see that how to do this dynamic descriptive. Until now what we have seen is nothing but static descriptive programming. Means where you use property value pairs. And in the dynamic descriptive programming, we'll use description object. Now we'll see how to write dynamic DP.